What if the biggest reveal in the Silo Season 3 Episode 3 trailer isn't the scene everyone is talking about? What if it's the scene that lasts only a few seconds? Because after watching this trailer several times, one thing becomes crystal clear. The story is no longer just about escaping the silo. It's about discovering a truth so dangerous that someone is willing to sacrifice everything to keep it buried. And if even half of what this trailer is teasing becomes reality, Episode 3 could completely change the direction of the entire season. But here's the question I want every fan to think about before we begin. Who is actually telling the truth anymore? Is there someone secretly helping Juliette? Or is every ally slowly becoming another obstacle standing in her way? Pause the video for a second and leave your biggest theory in the comments. By the end of this breakdown, I think you'll be questioning every single character. Now, let's single quotes break down the trailer scene by scene. The trailer opens with an atmosphere that immediately feels different. There's no loud action. No dramatic explosions. Instead, we get silence. The kind of silence that makes you feel something terrible is about to happen. That's exactly why the opening works so well. Silo has always understood that suspense isn't created by showing everything. It's created by making the audience imagine what's about to happen. Almost immediately, we notice that Juliette looks different. Not physically. Emotionally. Her expression suggests someone carrying the weight of information that could change everything. She isn't simply trying to survive anymore, she's trying to understand. And sometimes. Understanding the truth is far more dangerous than facing an enemy. Now here's something interesting that many viewers may have missed. Watch the background carefully during the opening shots. Nothing seems random. Every hallway, every locked door, every warning light feels intentionally placed. Silo rarely wastes screen time. If the camera focuses on something for even a moment, there's usually a reason, which raises our first major theory. Could Episode 3 finally reveal areas of the silo we've never seen before? If that's true, then the trailer may already be hiding clues about completely unexplored sections of the underground world. Before we continue, here's another question. Do you believe there's only one hidden secret left inside the silo, or are we only scratching the surface? Leave your answer below, because the trailer seems to hint that every answer leads to an even bigger mystery. As the trailer continues, the tension keeps building. Notice how conversations are short, nobody seems relaxed, nobody looks completely confident. Every character appears to be hiding something. That's what immediately caught my attention. The fear in this trailer isn't coming from monsters. It isn't coming from the outside world. It's coming from people who know too much, people afraid of saying the wrong thing, people who understand that one mistake could expose everything. Now let's talk about one of the trailer's biggest clues. Several scenes emphasize restricted areas and secured locations. That immediately raises another possibility. What if Episode 3 introduces a place inside the silo that has remained hidden since the very beginning of the series? Imagine discovering an entire level that nobody is supposed to know exists. A place filled with forgotten records. Old technology, or even evidence proving that history has been rewritten. That would completely change how we view everything that's happened so far. Another detail worth paying attention to is the pacing. The trailer doesn't rush from action scene to action scene. Instead, it carefully increases the tension. Every new shot creates another question. Every line of dialogue feels incomplete. And every cut happens just before we learn something important. That's classic silo storytelling. The writers understand that curiosity is stronger than shock. They don't need to reveal everything. They only need to convince us that something massive is waiting just around the corner. Now here's something I noticed after watching the trailer again. Watch how different characters react whenever Juliette appears. Some seem relieved, others seem nervous. A few almost look frightened. Why? Because Juliette may no longer represent hope. She may represent the truth, and throughout this series, the truth has always been the most dangerous thing anyone could possess. Before moving forward, here's another question for everyone watching. If you uncovered undeniable proof that everything inside the silo was built on lies, would you reveal it immediately? Or protect the people you love by keeping it hidden? That's the impossible choice Episode 3 appears to be building toward. Because sometimes exposing the truth creates more chaos than the lie itself. As we reach the final moments of the trailer, one feeling becomes impossible to ignore. Someone is running out of time. Whether it's Juliette. The leadership. Or the people secretly working behind the scenes. The countdown has already begun. Every decision now carries enormous consequences. Every conversation feels like it could be the last. Every clue pushes the story closer to a revelation that may change the future of the silo forever. But perhaps the biggest question isn't what episode 3 will reveal. It's whether the characters are actually ready to live with the answers, because once the truth finally comes into the light, there may be no way to put it back into the darkness. And if this trailer is telling us anything, it's that episode 3 won't just answer old questions. It will create mysteries even bigger than the ones we've been trying to solve since the very beginning. The more you watch the episode 3 trailer, the more it feels like every scene is hiding another layer of the mystery, because this isn't a trailer built around action. It's built around questions. Questions that become more unsettling every time you watch it. And here's the biggest one. What if the people searching for the truth are already too late? Think about that. What if someone has been preparing for this exact moment long before Juliette ever started asking questions? Before we continue, I want your opinion. Who do you trust the most right now? Is it Juliette, someone inside Judicial, a new mysterious character, or do you think nobody can be trusted anymore? Drop your answer in the comments, because trust has become one of the most valuable and dangerous things inside the silo. Now let's continue. One thing that immediately stands out is how isolated every character feels. Even when people are standing together, they don't feel united. They look cautious, suspicious. Almost as if every conversation could be overheard. That tells us something important. The fear inside the silo is spreading, not because of what people know, but because of what they suspect. And sometimes suspicion is even more powerful than certainty. Now pay attention to the trailer's lighting. Many scenes are darker than usual, with narrow beams of light cutting through the corridors. That's more than visual style. It represents knowledge. Every small light symbolizes another piece of the truth finally breaking through years of darkness. But notice something else. The light never reveals everything. Only part of the picture. That's exactly how Silo tells its story. Every answer is incomplete. Every clue leads to another locked door. Another hidden file. Another impossible decision. Now here's a theory that completely changed how I viewed this trailer. What if episode 3 finally reveals that there are people secretly working against both sides? Not the rebels, not the leadership, a third group, people whose only mission is protecting the original purpose of the silo. Imagine that. An organization so deeply hidden that even the leaders don't know the full truth. If that theory turns out to be correct, then everything we've seen so far may only be the surface of a much larger conspiracy. Another fascinating moment appears during one of the trailer's shortest shots. There's a brief hesitation before a character speaks. Most viewers will probably ignore it. But Silo has trained us to pay attention to silence. Sometimes silence reveals more than dialogue. That hesitation could mean fear. It could mean regret. Or it could mean someone is deciding whether to tell the truth for the very first time. Those tiny moments often become the biggest clues later. Now think about Juliette's journey. At the beginning of the series, she wanted answers. Now she may have reached the point where answers are no longer enough, because discovering the truth creates a new responsibility. What do you do with it? Do you expose it, hide it, or protect it until the right moment? Episode 3 appears ready to force that exact choice. And there may not be a perfect answer. Before we continue, here's another question. If exposing the truth meant thousands of innocent people would panic, would you still reveal it? It's an impossible decision, but that's exactly why Silo works so well. Every victory comes with another sacrifice. Another thing I noticed is how carefully the trailer avoids showing complete conversations. We hear fragments, half-finished sentences. Warnings. Questions, urgent voices, but almost never complete explanations. That's intentional. The trailer wants us to feel exactly like the characters. Confused. Curious. Constantly searching for missing pieces. Now let's discuss another major theory. What if the biggest danger isn't outside the silo, and it isn't inside either? What if the real danger is the system itself? A system that has operated for generations. One that continues functioning regardless of who is in charge. If that's true, then defeating one leader won't solve anything, because another person will simply replace them. The real enemy would be the structure itself, and changing an entire system is much harder than defeating one individual. As the trailer moves toward its final moments, the pace begins accelerating, the music becomes more intense, the camera cuts become faster, expressions become more desperate. You can almost feel that everyone is approaching a point where there will be no turning back. Whatever happens in episode 3. It won't simply be another investigation. It feels like the beginning of a chain reaction. One revelation will trigger another, one decision will force the next. Until eventually, the truth becomes impossible to contain. But here's the most chilling possibility of all. What if the trailer is deliberately distracting us? What if the scenes we think are the most important are actually hiding the biggest reveal somewhere else? Silo has fooled its audience before, and this trailer feels like it's doing it again, because sometimes the greatest secret isn't hidden in the biggest moment. It's hidden in the scene everyone watches only once. So before episode 3 finally arrives, watch this trailer again. Slow it down. Look beyond the obvious, because I have a feeling the answer we've been searching for has been sitting right in front of us the entire time. We just haven't recognized it yet. There's one detail in the episode 3 trailer that almost everyone is talking about, but I don't think it's the biggest clue. In fact, I think the most important moment lasts less than 3 seconds. And if our theory is correct, that single moment could completely change everything we thought we knew about the silo. Because after watching this trailer frame by frame, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. Someone is always one step ahead. Not Juliette. Not the leadership. Someone else. Someone we still haven't fully seen. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. Do you think the writers have already shown us the true mastermind, or are they still hiding that character from us? Write your answer in the comments, because this question could completely change the direction of Season 3. Now let's continue. As the trailer reaches its middle section, the atmosphere changes dramatically. The mystery isn't growing anymore. It's becoming personal. The expressions on every character's face tell us the stakes have changed. This isn't simply about discovering another hidden room. It's about deciding who deserves to know the truth. And history has shown us that once information becomes dangerous, friendships begin falling apart, alliances begin breaking. Even the people you trust most become potential threats. That's exactly the feeling episode 3 is creating. Now pay close attention to how often doors appear throughout the trailer. Locked doors. Heavy steel doors. Doors opening just enough to reveal darkness beyond them. Those aren't just part of the setting. They represent barriers. Every locked door symbolizes another secret. Every hallway represents another unanswered question, and every time a character walks toward one of those doors, they're also walking closer to a truth that may completely destroy their understanding of the world. Now here's another theory. What if the greatest secret isn't hidden in a room, but inside a person? Imagine discovering that someone has known the truth for years, not because they wanted power, but because they believed revealing it would destroy the silo. That possibility completely changes the story. Suddenly, keeping secrets isn't necessarily evil. It becomes survival. And that's what makes silos so fascinating. There are very few completely good or completely evil characters. Everyone believes they're protecting humanity. They simply disagree about how. Before we move forward, here's another question. If you learned a secret that could either save thousands of lives or destroy society overnight, what would you choose? Would you reveal everything immediately or carry that burden alone? That's the impossible choice episode 3 seems to be building toward. Now let's talk about the trailer's pacing. Notice how the editing becomes faster as it approaches the end. The music grows more intense, the dialogue becomes shorter, the camera cuts happen more rapidly. That's a classic way of telling the audience one thing. Time is running out. Someone is making a decision that cannot be reversed, and once that decision is made, nothing inside the silo will ever be the same again. Another hidden clue appears in the way characters look at one another, not with anger, not with confidence, with uncertainty. It's as if nobody knows who they're supposed to trust anymore. That may be the greatest victory for whoever is controlling events behind the scenes. Because once people stop trusting each other, they stop working together. And divided people are much easier to control. Now here's a theory I haven't seen many fans discuss. What if episode 3 isn't preparing us for one massive reveal? What if it's preparing us for multiple reveals happening at exactly the same time? Imagine this. Just as Juliette uncovers one major truth, Someone else uncovers another. Meanwhile, the leadership is forced to respond to something completely unexpected. 3 different mysteries. 3 different locations, 1 explosive episode. That would explain why the trailer feels so chaotic while still hiding almost everything. Now think about the title of the series itself. Silo. A silo is designed to isolate. To separate. To contain. But what if the people have become just as isolated as the structure they live inside? Separated from history. Separated from the outside world. Separated from the truth. And perhaps most importantly, separated from each other. That's a powerful idea, because physical walls are easy to understand. Psychological walls are much harder to break. As the trailer enters its final moments, one emotion becomes stronger than any other: urgency. Everyone seems to understand they're approaching a point where hesitation is no longer possible. Someone has to act. Someone has to make the first move. Someone has to risk everything. But here's the question that keeps bothering me. What if that's exactly what the real mastermind wants? What if every clue we've seen, every hidden document, every mysterious discovery has been carefully placed to lead Juliette exactly where someone wants her to go? Imagine realizing you weren't solving the mystery. You were following a path someone designed years ago. That possibility is terrifying, because it means every victory may have been planned from the very beginning. And if that's true, Episode 3 could deliver the biggest twist of the season. Not by revealing the truth, but by revealing that our heroes have been manipulated all along. Now, I want to hear your theory. Who do you believe is secretly controlling everything inside the silo? Is it someone we've already met, someone working in the shadows? Or do you think the real answer is far more shocking than any fan theories so far? Share your thoughts below. Because if the Episode 3 trailer has taught us anything, it's that in the world of Silo, the biggest secrets are never hidden in the darkness. They're hidden in the places we stopped looking long ago.